Welcome to Idaho Falls, Idaho, on the top 10 list of best performing smaller cities in the entire nation. In fact, we are ranked number 3 this year. So in this video, I'm actually going to summarize what Mayor Rebecca Casper had mentioned in the State of the City address for 2025. And you may have guessed by my smile, things are looking up. Let's get started. What's up, guys? My name is Annika Wilder. I'm a local realtor here in the eastern Idaho area. If you're thinking about moving or visiting to Idaho Falls, I would love to chat with you about your visit or your next move. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me a message, or schedule a Zoom, and I'll be happy to help. And if you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because I put out a new video every single week that talks about life in Idaho Falls and the surrounding areas. All right, so Idaho Falls, it is growing. I say that in a lot of my videos, but it really is. The economy is good, the job market is good, the housing market continues to improve, there's more businesses coming here every day. Things are looking up. Now, as I talk about this State of the City address, you might be wondering, hey, I want to move to a small town. If Idaho Falls is growing too much, that defeats the purpose of moving there. Is all the land that looks like this in Idaho Falls going to soon turn into this? Big apartment buildings that just will overrun the entire city. So I have good news and bad news. Yes, Idaho Falls will continue to be a smaller city. Yes, it will continue to grow. And yes, that means accommodating for more people moving here, which means more housing possibilities. That doesn't always mean apartment buildings though. We're building townhomes and we're also rapidly developing and building more homes in general, which is of course the industry that I'm in and most interested in. With that said, if you're looking for a small city where there's only 2 people on the roads at all times, don't skip out on the surrounding areas like Rigby and Roberts and Iona, things on the outskirts. So here's Idaho Falls. There are smaller cities around Idaho Falls that might interest you, that you can still benefit from the growing capacity of Idaho Falls with more amenities, but then live just 20 minutes away in a very small town. In this address, Mayor Casper first talked about how this is her last term. So she has been mayor since 2014. This is her last year, so this was her last address. So of course she got very sentimental. She has fallen in love with Idaho Falls. She has fallen in love with the people and the people who work for Idaho Falls. She has poured a lot of her energy and her love into the city. So at the beginning of the address was a little bit sentimental, reminiscing about all that she has done and the status of the city as well. The first topic she talked about was transportation. Idaho Falls doesn't have a lot of city buses, they don't have trams or tracks like you do in Salt Lake City, but we do have something called GIFT. And GIFT has been this new initiative that started just a couple years ago that is ramping up and continually supporting the community. And what this is rides available at a very small, affordable cost. And since the initiative started, GIFT has offered 243,000 rides to people in Idaho Falls. And they broke a record of wait time only being 16 minutes. So if you call like the on-demand line and you say you need a ride, you only have to wait 16 minutes until you are picked up and dropped off to where you need to be. GIFT has been a wonderful addition to Idaho Falls. And what's so cool about this is the initiative that GIFT has started is being implemented across a lot of different cities in Idaho. So Idaho Falls is being recognized for being a trendsetter and seeing that this system is working and now being implemented in other places, which is, I think, super cool. The next topic she talked about within transportation is the airport. You may have heard rumors that the airport is expanding, and that is true. It is a $65 million project in which we have raised over 20 million in funds, and so we continue to raise more funds to start this expansion. This means expanding the terminal, and it means fixing support beams and more parking and things like that. And this construction will actually start this spring in 2025. Now this is going to be a long project, so it might not all be expanded this year, but it is definitely starting with the funds that we have in hand. Also, in regards to transportation, she talked about widening sidewalks and fixing bridges to make it more pedestrian friendly in Idaho Falls. So these projects have already been completed and some are continually being worked on to make it so it's easier for people to walk across the river and to get to and from places. For instance, there's even more walking paths and bike paths that run along the city that end at the campus here in town for college students. The next topic she talked about is, which I'm super excited about, is electricity and internet and the expansion thereof. So Idaho Falls now has fiber internet accessible for all of Idaho Falls residents as part of your Idaho Falls utility bill. And so there is now fiber internet available everywhere, where that wasn't the case a few years ago. The next one, which I think is so big, is there will be 16 DC fast chargers going to be installed across Idaho Falls. Now, we already have one at Walmart, I know, because I drive an electric vehicle, and there's some other slow chargers, but there will be even more. And the reason why this is good is not only because more people are getting hybrid vehicles and electric vehicles and they need places to charge, but Idaho Falls continues to be a touristy attraction for people that want to come see Idaho Falls, or for people who are visiting the Grand Tetons or Yellowstone and make a stop here. And so this will boost our economy even more so that tourists have a place to charge their vehicles on the way to those bigger national parks, which I think is huge. This is a really innovative step that Idaho Falls has taken. The next topic that Mayor Casper talked about was public safety. Now, the police here, I think, are phenomenal. Not only are they highly trained individuals that are protecting the city, but they're also taking more community outreach action. So we have programs for people who are victims or who are in dangerous situations, and the police are now involved with that. We also have an award-winning police station right here in town that was just finished being built last year. Also, just a fun fact in regards to public safety, there is a new 9/11 memorial at our fire station number 1, which is just super cool that we can be cognizant of those firefighters and those first responders who protect us every day. The next topic, one of my favorite topics, is Parks and Rec. Mayor Casper talked about how Parks and Rec is one of the busiest departments of the city. And this year, or just this last year, they renovated the tennis courts at Tophus Parks. There's new pickleball courts all over. They're creating better ADA access bathrooms at parks. They're renovating parks. In fact, the park by my house was completely redone. They're implementing more sustainable water resources in regards to partnering with the public works and Parks and Rec so that we can have more sustainable watering and irrigation practices, which is super cool too. They also put on events like the tree lighting ceremony, which last year was one of the biggest and best events because there was a winter market, there were some musicians, there was a huge event where the whole community came out that was put on by the Parks and Rec. They also put on the rodeo, which in 2024 was named the best medium rodeo in Idaho. And I love that we have that. And so we're going to keep that title. Last but not least, there was a massive ATV lighting parade. So there were ATVs, UTVs, all wrapped up in lights, and there was a massive parade. It was actually one of the largest in the nation. A lot of people came out to it and had a ball doing it. Next, she talked about quality of life. Some of the things she mentioned were things like the expansion of library, the increase of library materials, also implementing a library drive-through. So instead of having to bring all your kids into the library and bring all the books and shuffle them back into the car, they are implementing a drive-through so that you can pick up your items on hold easy without even getting out of the car. Around the city, there's also improvements in these 100-year-old buildings with more ADA access railings, elevators going in buildings. The old Civic Center, which is now called the Frontier Center, is getting renovations with more ADA accessibility too. She also talked about that the city council, all the meetings are now recorded and uploaded with closed captionings in English and Spanish to cater to everybody living in our area. And it's so much easier to access on their YouTube channel, on their website, so you can be fully involved and see all the things that the city is being transparent on in regards to the plans. And speaking of plans, Idaho Falls, which I think is one of the most innovative and progressive things that they are working on right now, is the Idaho Falls Strategic Plan. So this pyramid is actually interactive. She says it's a living and breathing document or file, I guess you could say, where you can interact with it, click on it, and as you can tell, as we click on each thing, it talks about the mission, the vision, the plans, and some of these categories have more details where you can look into what is happening here in Idaho Falls. So you can stay involved, stay informed, and updated in all things that are happening here in Idaho Falls. Mayor Casper ended her address with talking about how from the Milken Institute, we have been in the top 10 best performing small cities in the nation. Last year, we were actually #1. This year, we're #3, and that's okay. We're still in the top 10. It just means that there's some area for growth. Overall, she had a very positive outlook on the things that are happening here in Idaho Falls and how we can all be involved, how we can continue to vote and have our voices heard in this beautiful community. Now, one of the reasons why we're not #1 is Gainesville, Georgia was #1. We became #3, and my speculation is because we've had a massive growth here. We've had a boosted economy from the Idaho National Lab, Melaleuca, and other huge employers, and a lot of developers and businesses coming out here. The part where we fall short is actually the wages. The wage increase has actually dipped over the last couple years. So I am hoping, and I don't know how this will happen, I wish I had control over it, but I'm hoping that the wages will catch up with the growth of the city, because if it continues to stay where it's at, it might rank lower over the next few years. But if the city and employers can continue to increase the wages, it will help accommodate this booming economy, more people moving here, more demand, help keep it more sustainable and affordable for residents and for people moving in. Now here's my take. I've been in Idaho Falls for going on 3 years, actually just over 3 years, and I love it. It has been one of the safest communities I've ever lived in. It's been one of the friendliest communities I've ever been in. It's one of the most service-oriented communities I've ever been in. I absolutely love the team I'm on. I love the things there are to do for kids and for individuals. I love that there's growth. It's exciting to see a small city grow, but then also not be so big that it's not so crowded, it's not so busy, it's not so dirty. It's actually a really beautiful town, a really nice community, and I have absolutely loved it. Now, if you want, like I mentioned before, if you want that really small town, check out somewhere like Shelley, Idaho, or Rigby, Idaho. Just 15-20 minutes on either side of the city where you can still be in a place with 5,000 to 6,000 people. Things shut down, you can see the stars easier, you have more space to breathe. They want those towns to stay small. So you could easily live in a small town, commute to Idaho Falls for 20 minutes or so, and still have all access to a bigger city amenities, if you will. Well, that's it for this video. Again, my name is Annika Wilder. If you are looking to move here, if you have any other questions about Idaho, or if you have any suggestions for videos, go ahead, comment below or reach out. Send me a text, send me an email, call me, schedule a Zoom. I would love to meet you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, before you go, I totally forgot to mention that a lot of this information is available online. I will post the link for the entire 2025 State of the City address. That's right here on YouTube. I'll post that link below. Also, if you're looking to know what's going on in regards to jobs, events, access to utilities. You can pay your utility bill all online. In fact, Idaho Falls also has an Idaho Falls app. So you can just download that app and it's super easy to navigate. It'll take you right to any part of the city that you're interested in. There's contact information, there's constant updates about the plans moving forward. So make sure you check out those online resources. Okay, now I'm done. Have a great day. Bye.